Yesterday, Kamala Harris announced her vice presidential pick is Tim Walz, Minnesota governor and guy who just found a quarter behind your ear. And last night, she took her shiny new running mate out for a spin at a rally in Philly.
Violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed. So say it with me. We aren't going back. We aren't going back. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Whoa! A Minnesotan saying, damn? That's spicy. But if you watch this rally, it's clear Democrats are in a much happier place than they were a few weeks ago. They're like, why do my hands keep banging together like a seal? Are the corners of my mouth going up? Why? Am I sick? Even I felt it, and I'm dead inside. And part of this is that Tim Walz creates excitement because he's a new main character. It's like when you've had the same mailman for 20 years, and then a new guy comes around, and you're like, you know, this time I'm going to learn this guy's name, right? What can I say? I'm a good person. So the point is, this energy is great for Democrats and terrible for Republicans, which is why they spent all day trying to find an angle of attack on Tim Walz. And I'm open to hearing it. I don't want to be partisan. So Republicans, I'd like to hear a serious critique from one of your sharpest minds.
Let's bring in Scott Shellady this morning. What do you think of Walz as the vice presidential pick, Scott?
I'm going to guess this guy's response is moo. Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance. He might have a very valid critique of Tim Walz's policies. Let's hear him out.
What do you think of Walz as the vice presidential pick, Scott?
Look, Stuart, he's not a serious candidate.
All right. Not serious, huh? I agree. I hate having to listen to unserious people. You know, it really pulls my udders. Look, here's a rule of thumb. You're not allowed to talk about being serious if you have to milk your clothes before putting them on. Now, to be fair, there are real policy issues Republicans have been hitting Walz on, like helping undocumented immigrants get health care and his reaction to the George Floyd protests. But they just can't resist a story like this.
He supports putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms for kids as young as the 4th grade.
He says Republicans are weird, yet this is the governor who put tampons in the boys' bathroom.
A nickname for Tim Walz is Tampon Tim.
Tampon Tim.
We need to introduce Tampon Tim to the world.
Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim. That sounds like a fictional character parents tell their daughter about when she gets her first period. You know, like, look what Tampon Tim left under the sink, honey. Super plus overnights. You've got your mom's flow, and we couldn't be prouder. But basically, what happened is that Walz passed a law that put free tampons in all public schools, including boys' bathrooms. With all due respect to Tampon Tim, I really just don't care about this. You know, best case scenario, a trans kid gets tampons. Worst case, the weird kid in class puts them up his nose and pretends to be a walrus, which is also best case scenario. Personally, as someone who was a 13-year-old boy, it doesn't matter what you put in that bathroom. Whatever it is, they're going to draw a penis on it. They're going to rip it off the wall and try to flush it down the toilet. It's either that or go to geography, and I'm not going to waste my time with that. Anyways, Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, which is the capital of Alaska, doesn't seem to be overtly problematic, which is why Republicans are accusing him of hiding something.
This is a guy who hides behind his flannel jacket, but he's actually a wolf in sheep's clothing who cannot be trusted.
A progressive in sheep's clothing. Governor Walz is a socialist in sheep's clothing.
But he's a freak in sheep's clothing.
He's a freak. He's a freak in sheep's clothing. That's ridiculous. Not like cow's clothing. That's normal. But a sheep, what a freak. Yeah, I know. It's so good. By the way, Isn't sheep's clothing just like a wool sweater? I love wearing sheep's clothing in the fall. I can make so many more cute outfits, you know? Senior portraits here on High 98. But yes, Tim Walz may be a former football coach, a hunter, a guy who looks like he has his own homemade dry rub. But Republicans are saying, don't be fooled by the moderate vibes. Tim Walz is a secret communist. And nobody is more on board with this line of attack than Donald Trump himself.
He's a very, very liberal man, if you want to know the truth. He's probably about the same as Bernie Sanders. He's probably more so than Bernie Sanders. She is more so than Bernie Sanders. There's never been a ticket like this. This is a ticket that would want this country to go communist immediately, if not sooner.
Immediately, if not sooner? There's no sooner. That's what makes it immediately. If you tell someone you want something sooner than immediately, they're going to be late because they're going to waste their time thinking, what kind of idiot says immediately if not sooner? By the way, when Joe Biden rambled like this, all of us were like, this man is obviously senile. But now that he's dropped out, it's becoming more obvious that Trump's brain isn't exactly in great shape either. And he should get that looked at immediately, if not sooner. For more on the Republican reaction to Walz, we go live to Troy Iwata. Troy, it seems like Republicans are still trying to figure out how to attack Tim Walz.
No, I think they figured it out. Tim Walz is a communist sheep. A radical, left-wing Marxist socialist who is also a sheep.
Okay. So Republicans think Kamala should have picked a more moderate VP like Josh Shapiro.
No, he is also a communist. A Marxist communist kosher sheep. He's exactly the type of socialist that Democrats love to pick instead of blue-collar, heartland people like Tim Walz.
Well, Troy, they did pick Tim Walz.
I know. It was a big mistake picking that Marxist socialist.
Troy, I'm sensing a pattern here. It seems like Republicans just label every Democrat as a communist. I mean, what if her VP pick was Captain America?
The guy who fought Hitler? Like Joseph Stalin? Sounds like a communist to me.
What about Mr. Peanut?
Okay, every peanut is the same. Same color, same shape, same taste, communist.
What about the Geico gecko?
Okay, anyone that sells insurance is a communist. It's a shared risk. The gecko, Jake from State Farm, Limu Emu, and Doug, all communists, okay? And don't even get me started on Flo from Progressive, okay? She's progressive and her name is Flo. She is definitely putting tampons in boys' bathrooms.
Troy, what about Peppa Pig? What about Peppa Pig?
That pig in a red dress who teaches kids about sharing? That's a communist.
Uncle Sam?
You know who Sam is the uncle to. Mao Zedong.
Come on.
Look it up. It's on my Substack.
Troy, aren't these attacks getting old? Republicans do this every Democratic candidate. Can't they find something new to say?
It's not the Republicans' fault that everyone who doesn't agree with them in all of history has been a communist, Michael. Okay? If they picked a normal person, Republicans would call them normal.
All right, here. What if the Dems say their VP is Donald Trump?
Donald Trump? You mean Kamidani? Free money during COVID? Best buds with Putin? Married to an Eastern European?
Troy, come on. Not everyone is a communist. What about you and me?
Wake up, Kosta. You and me work at Comedy Central.
No. I'm not a communist.
You're not? Neither am I, comrade. Vink, vink.
Troy Iwata, everybody.